Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Flash, and thank you for joining me for another Marvel Snap video. Got another great one here, something I cooked up. If you're interested in running a Zoo deck and you wonder if Zoo can work right now in this meta, spoiler alert, it can. Let's get right into it. And as you see on the screen here, this is the deck. And before we get into all of that, let me just first and foremost say thank you to everybody, as we just crossed over 1,000 followers on Twitch, and we're getting things rolling here as well. But all of that to say, if you could just like and subscribe, share it out, get the word out, very much appreciate that. So as you can see, we're running about 90% win rate after 20 games. Not granted, I know usually I get to like 30, 40, 50 range before I like ring the alarm on a deck, but I think 20 was a decent enough sample size to say, I think this is something and not nothing. You can have a level of success here as long as you're playing these cards appropriately. There's some adjustments that can be made, but we'll get into that. But like I said, this is the deck. This is the current win rate. And let's get into the card by card breakdown. When you're playing out a Zoo deck that wants to put down as many cards as possible and generally fill out locations, Ant-Man is excellent at doing that. It's a 1/5 more times than not, because if he's ever a 1/1, that's just not good for you. So yeah, Ant-Man, and 1/5, but really with Black Swan, it's a 0/5. So that's just very good. Rocket is one of the spots here that could probably be something else, because if you whiff on Rocket, there's no recovering from that. It's not a bounce deck. You can't try again. He's just going to be a 1/1. Yeah. So, but again, if you want to make a sub, you can, but a lot of times at the end of the game, especially on turn 6, you can kind of pinpoint where your opponent's going to play said next card or cards. So leave him in, take him out. He's the first flex spot here. Zero is another card here that could maybe be something else if you so choose, but I like Zero in these Zoo builds because he shuts off the things that you don't want to hurt you: Titania, Martyr, and sometimes Hydra Bob, but mainly Martyr, because there are a lot of funky instances where you might have Martyr down a lane with Ant-Man for some reason, and she's 100% going to leave the lane if she can. So Zero. All right, Bob from Hydra. I'm sure a lot of you are not going to have this card, and you probably shouldn't. However, with the very quick knee-jerk buff that this card received, going to a 1/5, in comparison to the other 1/5s, Bob is just very good at... Look, let me be honest. Out of the 20 games I played, Bob won me single-handedly about 3 of those with a well-timed snap, just because I was able to plan out, okay, if I can have Bob jump to this location because I filled out the other location, I know where he's going to go. And if I snap, I know he's going to move. And it happened like 3 times, and I won those games because of it. Don't run out and try to get Hydra Bob because of this, but he'll fit where he fits, which is a Zoo deck. He's a 1/5 with a fairly minimal downside. That's just very good. I'm sorry. Martyr's here. She's a 1/5. She has to be here. It's a Zoo deck. You're trying to get down as many 1s as possible, and you need them to be as powerful as possible. And 1/5 is about as good as it gets outside of Ebony Maw, right? So she's here. You have to be careful, all right? Because sometimes you might have to tempo her out early, and then you have to make very specific plays at the end of the game to make sure she doesn't, end up biting you in the, what. But otherwise, if you're waiting until turn 6 to do the whole big explosion of power and cards, you're just going to zero your Martyr if you can. Boom, problem solved. Titania, another 1/5, another target for Zero if need be. But a lot of times at the end of the game, because you've thrown priority, you can put her last in the lane and she's not going to move. So Titania is much more controllable in this particular instance and in this particular deck. White Widow is simply here because she's a good card. She's a good tempo card, and she's a good card that can play 2 roles. One is that, again, like I just said, you can tempo her out early on turn 2, turn 3 if you need to, if you've missed, one of your 3 drops, or you can play her on turn 5 with Black Swan is very good. Now, granted, if your opponent fills the lane out, she's just going to be a 2. That's not really going to get much of a buff from anywhere else aside from Blue Marvel if you get it down. But White Widow is just good. But another probably flex spot here can be something else if you need it to be whatever it is that you have that you think might be good here, whether it be another 1-drop or whatever the case may be. She's one of the replaceables as another Series 5 card that I'm sure everybody does not have. When you're playing a Zoo deck, or any deck in general where you want to be playing a lot of cards on a specific turn, Bishop is here. He's got your back. And who doesn't just love an opportunity to play Bishop? Come on, look at Bishop. Come on. Don't you want to play Bishop? Bishop has long been forgotten as like once a good card, sometimes and then just like right? But in here in a Zoo deck where you're playing a multitude of cards over several turns, Bishop is very good as a scaling threat that is a lot of times a number that your opponent cannot calculate ahead of time. It's just there. Bishop going into turn 6, Bishop is a lot of times, you know, like a 3-2 or a 3-3, and just like, I don't know how much bigger the card is going to get. Bishop is very good at hiding and masking your extra power. I'm not 100% sure Elsa needs to be here. She's a great card, but I think I just was looking for another good value 3-drop. Whereas if I've played Black Swan on turn 5 and I can go Hit Monkey plus all my 1s that are 0, what else can I do was my question. And I'm like, okay, well, do you just want a 3-drop that doesn't really do anything, as just static power? It's like Nocturne. Well, in an instance, Nocturne, right? She's a 3-5. You play her at the last turn of the game, she's not really doing anything for you. But Elsa is sneaky in that way where she's gonna, if you fill out 2 lanes, she's now giving you that, for her, you know, because she's a base 3, she's giving you 3/7 value. So Elsa could also probably be something else. I've had success with her in this slot. I am open to hearing about trying other cards here. And what Zoo deck wouldn't be complete without Hit Monkey? I mean, a lot of games you're dropping 3, 4-ish, 5 cards on the last turn of the game. Hit Monkey is just very good, obviously, at quick scaling power, winning a lane unexpectedly, and it's again, just like Bishop, but even more so, power that your opponent cannot calculate because they don't know it's coming, unless you're playing Conquest, right? But if you're playing on ladder, they don't know Hit Monkey's coming. They might assume it's coming, but they just don't know. They don't know where it's coming, and they don't know where it's going to be, unless they have like a Cosmo on the board and you know it's not going to be in that lane. But it's a Zoo deck. You're running Hit Monkey, period. Hard stop. Black Swan is a card that is long always dormant. She's not always good. She's very mid, generally speaking, across the board. She could probably be a 3-6 at this point because her play rate is very low, I'm sure. But this is where she shines. Zoo decks, because you want to be playing your 1s for 0 cost. And you're generally not ever playing this card before turn 5, turn 6 if Limbo's on the board, right? So don't tempo her out early unless you absolutely have, unless the board state is so finicky and jacked up in a way where you just have to get her down earlier. You can probably go ahead and do that. Or like Mindscape is on the board, that you can Black Swan on turn 4, drop all your stuff on turn 5. But otherwise, you're saving her for turn 5 every time because you are throwing priority, throwing priority, throwing priority. Blue Marvel, I'm sure, could be Khazar, right? As my great friend Glazer has pointed out to me. But I've had instances where Blue Marvel has snuck extra power in because I have Bishop on the board. I got Black Swan on the board. Now I have a Hit Monkey on the board. And those 3 cards and a White Widow, those 4 cards can't get buffs from Khazar. So like that extra 3-ish sometimes swing of power is enough to swing games. But again, you could try Khazar here if we have a lot of 1s. You could try Khazar for sure. But I like Blue Marvel. Look at this. Look at that gold crackle. How could you not? Yeah, all right. That's the day. Let's get into some games. Okay, so And like I said, see here, run that 90. It's probably a little bit in the 80s. Played some games on my phone. Won some, lost some, still at a high rate. Got nothing here. So no turn one play. Because like I said, what you want to be doing ultimately is, so see, Eternal's Arc, as I mentioned with locations, might change how we go about this. First things first, let's drop a White Widow in their lap. They can't change Eternal's Arc, then okay, well, they can change Eternal's Arc. Daily Bugle, as long as they don't get our Blue Marvel, I'm kind of good with it. I'm good with Gwenpool here also, that's nice. Might be room for that in the deck. Probably not, but who knows, maybe instead of Elsa, try Gwenpool. Still nothing, because I don't want to be, look, I don't want to be playing any cards before turn, you know, my ones. I don't want to be playing any of my ones before turn 6, generally. So we're still in the we're throwing priority phase. So let's get Gwenpool out. They're gonna drop that Gwenpool under Wong. That's gonna be a lot of stuff happening. Timeout. Did they play Wong on turn 3? What'd I miss there? How'd they play Wong on turn 3? Or am I just tripping? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so into... Now, here's, again... There's a case to be made... Well, of course they're gonna snap. There's a case to be made... Black Swan's 11. That's dope. There's a case to be made where we just Black Swan and, like... Ant-Man and Zero now, and we can zero one of these cards until whatever else. The problem with that is that if we get Bishop off the top, that kind of hurts the plan. So instead of Zero, let's go, or instead of Ant-Man, you know what, I'll tell you what, instead of Ant-Man, we'll go Zero and, it doesn't matter, Titania. Yeah, I like that plan. Let's see, so they move the Nocturne, which oddly enough is actually very good for us. And I say oddly enough, but Agatha, okay. Oh, they're playing Arsham. I was like, wait, how'd they play? Okay, I just, duh. They're playing Agatha, Arsham. Cool. We are positioned very well to win this game. We're gonna put Martyr in the left lane because we don't want her to sell us out here in Baxter Building. So what we're gonna do is gonna look something along the lines of this. Who snapped? Bob's not gonna move this turn unless I snap. So I don't want to do that. So we're gonna play Bob, Monkey, Martyr. Yeah, looks good to me. Good in the sense that this is the best thing that we could be doing. Whether or not it's going to result in a win, that's a different story. They were probably better off not changing that location, but it may have ended up hurting them just as much as me. So I would have been very limited in what I could have done with just being able to play into this one location. Flip side is I would have already won the right location, so they had a decision to make either way. What else can they do here? Again, I don't know. It's Arsham, so it's completely up in the air. I have no idea what else they're doing. Hopefully, we got the power, we got the equity we need to get through this. Hopefully. I mean, Hitmonkey's not huge here, but... Okay, Nakia, just a straight power play. They got my Ant-Man. And Red Guardian. Red Guardian's the White Widow, and that's it. GG's. Let's see. Okay. As I said before, well, let's get to the next game and then we'll go from there. So like I said, as I was saying before I interrupted myself, when your opponent, or I mean, I even said this, when your opponent does not know where to anticipate all of your power and they don't know how much that power is going to be, that's cool, very strong. Alright, so I'll take the flip here on Mojo World because it gives them one card that you know, best is going to be 0 unless they have a, you know, buff of sorts. 1, perfect. We want that. We want to see our 1s. We want to see Swan. So if we hit Swan, now Limbo, remember, if Limbo's on the board, so we have to, you know, you adjust your plan just a little bit for Limbo. Let's put Elsa in. Actually, you know what? Again, you have to be very careful. Let's put Elsa mid, because you are playing for priority. You're playing to throw priority. You don't want it. You don't want any part of it, but that doesn't mean you can play nothing. So, okay, we still haven't seen Black Swan, and our opponent still hasn't played any cards for 3 turns. Beta Ray Bill, okay. We've beaten a litany of these decks over that first 20 games that I played. I played against a bunch of, you know, Thor, Jane deck stuffs, and we went to town on them. Let's put Blue Marvel over here, I think. I'm not sure, but maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just split the power up and see where this takes us. Because now we're just a little dicey. We're playing with fire here a little bit because we would really love to see Black Swan here. Didn't get it. Okay. Six cards in hand. Something off the top is going to be either Black Swan or Rocket. We could. And we really needed Black Swan off the top. That would have just sealed the game, in my opinion. Hitmonkey gets worse somehow next turn. I think. We're gonna have to get something out. We're gonna have to tempo something out of here at this point. So I'm good with it being 0 into Martyr somewhere, question mark. Plus, because we can do, if we get Rocket off the top, we can do 4 1s plus Hitmonkey next turn. So that's also a very good thing we can be doing. Okay, there's the Doom. Gotta respect the Doom. Stormbreaker. Interesting placement on the Doom here. And if they put Stormbreaker here, why put Doom here if you were going to play Odin? I don't know, maybe that's a little bit of a misplay there. So we did get the Rocket off the top. Okay, here's the plan. Unless they're going to do Absorbing Missile. I don't know, whatever. Rocket, somewhere, anywhere. Could just be made here. Bob. Is that going to be enough, though? Rocket mid? Is that enough? I'm not even sure that's enough. I'm not going to lie. That might be a little bit of cope. I might have to throw mid altogether. Mid might be just out of the question altogether. So that being said, since we're gonna make that pivot, let's go Ant-Man right with they have Prio, so that's good. Ant-Man right with Hitmonkey over here with Rocket mid. Question mark? I like Bob Titania here with Rocket here. Just, yeah, because it's fine. It's fine this way, I think. Sure. Magneto, well, Magneto's got nothing to pull. They didn't have a big finisher, so I think we got this. Yeah, this is light work. We could have almost done anything, but we just didn't have to. Filling left was a good plan, but sometimes you have to, don't get Mojo World brain, right? You're like, oh, I gotta try to compete for Mojo World. You don't always have to compete for Mojo World. Sometimes just throw it. You can win your other 2 lanes just fine. All right, next game. All right, Vexen. No Martyr. I mean, sorry. No Arisham. Nebula. We've got no the first play we're even looking to make currently is Elsa on turn 3. You're just throwing all the priority. Just let them have it. Again, unless locations force you to do otherwise. Okay, there's White Widow. So maybe play around that. Asteroid M, well, now you have no choice but to play into that. Haven't hit our... Okay, that hurts. But we haven't hit our win condition yet. Hurts, but let's just get that out over there. We still have the backup plan, which is Blue Marvel. Okay, here's the problem deck that you're gonna run into, that you're running into a lot of now, which I wasn't running into when I was doing this overnight. All this clog stuff that people are trying to do now, it's you're gonna run into a bit of an issue with it. I'm still good here. We're still good. No snap. They got the demon out. There's a debris. The debris hurts. The debris hurts bad here because obvious reasons. I don't have to explain this here. We could sneak the Blue Marvel. Now, Blue Marvel I think will be more total power than Bishop. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're getting 5 on, but Blue Marvel might be able to sneak the right lane because they might just throw it. All right, here's the plan. Blue Marvel somewhere. I'm still not sure we can win this game, but let's go with this. Blue Marvel, doesn't matter who we play, what and where, because nobody's moving. So I think we leave Rocket on the bench because there's no guarantee he'll get a hit, but somebody's got to get left out. Ant-Man, it just doesn't matter. You just make sure you have Titania last wherever you put her. This could do it. See what I tell you. They threw the right lane. What did I tell you? Blue Marvel, let's go. They assumed that lane was cooked, so they're like, I don't even have to worry about that. Nihilus, we're good. You're not good. Read the board. Next game, let's go. All right, so I don't think we need to do too many of these because I feel like it's just a matter of practicing patience. Shout out to my homie Nick the Greek. But like, you just practice patience of not playing cards. It's okay. Some decks are designed in a way where you're throwing priority and you're tempoing at the end. There's no early game tempo necessary. You're just explosion of power at the end. Castle Zemo is going to be a problem for us. The best thing we could send over is Zero and White Widow. We don't want to send anything else over to that side. But of course, we're just playing Bishop. So again, see, locations. Locations are going to be funky here. Hopefully, they move that Nocturne into Castle Zemo, which we're good with the... Let's go Elsa. And then next turn, we can go White Widow, Black Swan. If they don't move the Nocturne. See, they're playing these mind games with the Nocturne. The Beta Ray Bill is good for them. I want the White Widow. And I want Black Swan. There's a case where I might have to throw the mid location. So maybe just Black Swan here. They don't play Jane now. We're in a good spot. If they play the Jane, that means they can get the Stormbreaker. That means they can, if they have Odin, they can get this to 12 and then 24, and there's no way we can win this lane without access to it. So let's play around it. Even though, you know, Bishop is nice. Okay, that's even better. So there's the Jane. So now it's a good thing we threw there. It's unfortunate that Bishop is holding it down because we kind of want his scaling power to help us. But in this case, we'll see. Now this is going to be without Hitmonkey. you know, we'll see what we can do here. We'll see what we can do. Let's get this, and I'm expecting something here. So this, that, and the third. No Ant-Man, so we don't have to worry about filling any of the lanes particularly, but we do want to get this buff from Elsa. I really should have probably played Elsa somewhere else, but mistakes were made. It's fine. 0 into Martyr into Bob. Let's run it. Oh my gosh, a lot of cards. It's an unexpected amount of cards. I didn't think it was gonna be that many cards. There's a Shadow King. There's Nebula. We got that lane 1. Let's go. It's a dub. It's a dub. Zoo for the win. Clean this up, bro. It's a dub. Like I said, I don't know why. I'm not even trying to like rack my brain just to try to figure out. If they had snapped though, that would have been very bad for us. We still would have won, but because Bob would have jumped. But hey man, Zoo is doing his thing right now. Black Swan on turn 5. Explosion of Power on turn 6. Bunch of ones. Be patient. Play your 3s and just wait. Wait. All right, let's close it out. And there you have it. As I said, Zoo's positioned well for whatever reason. It's very strong. That inability for your opponent to calculate all your power before the last turn of the game is very strong. Will win you a lot of games. Try it out. Try out maybe some of the replacements for the cards that I suggested, and I don't know, have some fun with it. Trying something that isn't everything else that everybody else is doing, Arsham, blah 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 blah. But yeah, that's it. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Gaming with Flash X, you know, at Gaming with Flash X here, Twitch, GW Flash X on Twitter. All that stuff is down below. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out for me. Spend some time with me. But upcoming Saturday, we got a stream coming up tomorrow by the time you see this. Okay, y'all later. Peace.